All right, men, we've already covered the rules in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say break, I want one complete step back with no punch or stone. Keep your head up at all times, shake hands, come out fighting when the bell rings. Good luck.
Hipp is ranked by the WBC in the top 30 of heavyweights in the world, slipping in at 29. He has fought mostly on the West Coast, Pacific Northwest. This is his first trip east. And he goes up against David Bay, who in his 15th fight fought for the heavyweight championship of the world against Larry Holmes. Stopped in the 10th round after Bay gave a good account of himself early. He then went on and slipped in fights against Trevor Berbick and Bone Crusher Smith and Joe Bugner, Terrell Biggs, Johnny Deploy, retired after that Deploy fight. And now this is his 4th fight back since last February.
And he, David Bay, has faced one southpaw before, early in his career, in only his 2nd fight. Larry Ham, he took him out in the 1st round. That back in February of 1982.
And Bay inside keeps Joe Hipp at bay. Joe Hipp says that he will not be hard to find. He also says if you take a look at him and his size, his width, says he's faster than you think.
David Bay successful with that uppercut here in this 1st round. Every time Hipp leans in to throw a punch, and already David Bay is hurt.
Heavy hands for Joe Hipp, who got in with the punch and now looks to body Bay. In his last fight, Hipp in January sent Mike Cohn to the hospital with a broken jaw. He has some heavy leather, and now Bay inside. Big left again by Hipp.
Hipp is a very fast starter. Bay likes to take his time in those first few rounds. He could be caught cold here early.
Hipp from Yakima, Washington, where he started in high school as a wrestler and a linebacker on the football team. He wears that knee brace going back to his high school football days. First round action. And David Bay, who has faced a veritable who's who of heavyweights, takes that experience against Joe Hipp, and you look at the list of fighters he's fought, and it's a list of who's he. But right now, David Bay finding out a little more about Joe Hipp.
You know, he watched the first tape of Joe Hipp today when I called him to talk to him. He was watching Hipp fight Sean McClain. Got the tape this morning. That fight with McClain was back in September of 1989 for Joe Hipp.
David Bay and all of us know a little bit more about the punching power of Joe Hipp after round number 1. The left hook has been the big blow so far.
And his favorite punch is that left. What the fighters do is they keep their powerful arm behind them. The left-handers want to jab with that right, put it out there, and then load up for the straight left or the hooking left.
Hipp likes to go to the body, then move up to the head. He's not gotten to the head point yet. And he says he'll just come right at his opponent, and he has lived up to that so far. Stay in front, try to get inside. '27-year-old Joe Hipp. As an amateur, won 110 fights, lost but 9. 3 Seattle Golden Gloves titles.
Well, he is a fast starter, Joe Hipp is. 9 of his 12 KOs in the first 3 rounds.
He's gone 10 rounds only on 2 occasions. and hasn't done that recently. Matter of fact, his last 4 fights, he has stopped within the first 4 rounds. His lone defeat came in his 2nd professional fight against Vedi Katoa when Hipp's jaw was broken. He would then, Bay is rocked here in the 2nd, and Hipp looking to close in.
And then again with that left hook.
So Hipp making Bay do a little tap dance. Hipp continues to crunch into the body and now goes upstairs to the head. 2 fighters with punches looking to slug it out. Hipp at 27 getting the better of 33-year-old David Bay. Remember when he fought Larry Holmes, the nickname Hand Grenade Bay, still going by that, but they may have been detonated by now.
And here's the problem with an aging fighter. They can see the punches coming, but they can't get out of the way of it, and he's not getting out of the way of that left hook.
He looks to be out. 35 and counting in the 2nd round.
And that crisscross defense from Bay is leaving him open for the left hook.
It is Hipp turning it up in the 2nd round.
Bay's got to get busy or this fight's going to be over.
It appeared at times that Bay was out on his feet here in the 2nd round, but he survives it.
Okay, you gotta work more inside. Shorten your punches. Okay. Shorten your relax. Hey, keep your hands up. Getting the same thing that you understand me?
Eubank, stretch. Something's gotta give.
Screen Sport Wednesday. After 72 hours on one of...
Big 2nd round for Joe Hipp.
And again, stunning David Bay with a sweeping left. He's found a home for that. Here it is again, another one. Boom. Bay has no protection on that side of his face. Look at his right hand is down in front of his chin. Joe Hipp sees it and lands. David Bay still rocky, wobbly walking out to the center of this ring.
David Bay retired in 1987, came back last February 1990. He's had 3 fights since then. Why did he retire? It followed 4 straight losses to heavyweight